I got a couple questions. What is the job of a teacher? And the second question, why do we use analogies? What is the job of a teacher? A teacher's job is to enhance your learning, to make it more efficient. Anyone can learn a subject on their own. But if you have a teacher there who's familiar with the material and can direct your attention and can see where you're having trouble, your learning is greatly accelerated. And what is the purpose of an analogy? An analogy is used to enhance comprehension, just like the job of a teacher. And what makes an analogy useful is you can relate something that you're trying to describe, a new concept that you're trying to convey. You can relate it in terms that they're familiar with by sort of mapping it. And I'll give you a good but simple example. Let's say that somebody knew what surfing was. They grew up surfing, they've been around surfing, they know surfing, but they've never heard of skateboarding or snowboarding. And you're going to try and explain snowboarding and skateboarding to them. You could go through the whole process of what it means to stand on a board and to shift your weight and to do all those things. Or you could simply say, you know surfing? Yeah. Okay. Snowboarding is surfing on snow, and skateboarding is surfing on concrete. With those little statements, you've gotten a whole concept. You've basically leveraged all of their existing understanding of surfing, and you just map one new value in there. One substitution, new concept, complete understanding. They know exactly what you're talking about. And same thing with skateboarding, surfing on concrete. So if the job of a teacher is to enhance understanding, to make it so that you get the idea faster and more effectively. Not that all teachers do, but that's their job. If the job of a teacher is to enhance learning, and if the job of a metaphor is to enhance information transmission, you know, I want to communicate this to you, I'll use an analogy to make it more clear, and to get more of the idea across in less time, and without, with less misunderstanding on the way. That's at least the job of a good analogy. Then why is it that Jesus' parables are so bizarre and so incomprehensible? And people say, oh, well, you got to get into them, you have to interpret it this way. It's what? If Jesus' job is to teach us the way, then he's a teacher, and he's referred to as a teacher, and he's referred to as teaching. And he uses parables. And the point of a parable, at least an honest point of a parable, is to enhance understanding. But the parables that Jesus teaches typically obfuscate, make things much harder to understand. They don't enhance understanding. And in some cases, the lesson is comprehensible, but it's a shitty lesson. One that comes to mind is the parable of the vineyard owner. The vineyard owner, for some reason, needs to get all of his grapes harvested by midnight tonight. So in the morning, he goes to the town square and he hires whoever's there and he says, I'll give you, 10 shekels for a day's work. So they start working. But by, say, 6 o'clock p.m., he can see that it's not going to happen. So he goes back to town square and offers the same 10 shekels for the rest of the day's work. And by, say, 9 or 10 p.m., it's still not going to happen. So he offers 10 shekels for 2 hours work. And the people that have worked all day, they're upset. And the guy's answer was, well, you were promised 10 shekels for a day's work, and that's what you're getting. So I'm not being unfair to you. And while that's technically true, it's still pretty awful, and it's a great way to create massive dissension amongst your people, because now these guys have effectively worked for 1 shekel per hour, and the last guys have worked for 5 shekels per hour, 5 times the rate. Why? Because they worked less, got paid the same amount of money? How is that fair? Where's the justice in that? That's not justice. Justice is basically equality, fair, equal, balanced, right? And we don't think in terms of days, like working for 1 minute during a day is the same thing as working for 24 hours in a day. No one thinks that way. So it's dishonest to say that, well, they got paid this much for a day's work. No. That was the offer, but really you're getting paid for 12 hours work, 10 shekels, and these guys are getting paid 10 shekels for 2 hours work. That's where the unfairness comes. To say it's a day in a day, that's a semantic game, and you're avoiding the issue, and that's dishonest. You don't want to be dishonest, do you? So what is the point of this parable? Well, the point of the parable, I think the point that they're trying to get across is that there are people who have been Christian since day one, and then there are people who are Christian at the last minute. They convert at the last minute, and they get the same heaven that these guys did. And I don't see how that's just either. I mean, that's the point they're trying to make. And the idea is, like, it's never too late to be saved. Okay? That may be comforting for the people who wait to the last minute to be saved. That may be comforting for the people who wait for last minute to save, to manage their lives properly, to do whatever, to be efficient or to be responsible. Be irresponsible throughout your entire life, last 5 minutes of your life, change your ways, and wow, it's all good. Is that the lesson of Christianity? Don't do anything until the last minute and then make your play? That seems to be what that parable is saying. And I guess the idea is, on one hand, it's supposed to comfort people who come to Christ late, but it's certainly not fair to those who have worked hard their entire day. Another parable that doesn't make any sense to me, and I'm really not sure what Jesus is supposed to be saying in this. But it's the parable of the one lost sheep, where a sheep owner, if one sheep wanders off, he would supposedly leave his 99 on the mountain and go and find the one. And he would be overjoyed at finding that one, more overjoyed than the 99 that stayed. Now, what's the moral here? What is the lesson? I can't even... Okay, first, a shepherd that did that would be an idiot, because if he leaves, his 99 sheep could be eaten by wolves, could all wander off, and then he's left with nothing, or the one sheep that wandered off and came back, or wandered off and he found it. Now he's got nothing. That's stupid. Why would no responsible shepherd would do that? A responsible shepherd would say, all right, hire somebody to take care of his 99, then he goes get the one, or he hires someone to go get the one. But you have to make sure you take care of the 99 too. Leaving the 99 alone, what is the message in that? Honestly, I can't put it into biblical terms or religious terms. I can understand the grapevine one, leave it to the last minute, you can still be saved. I think it's unfair, but I understand the point that he's trying to make. I don't even understand the point he's trying to make with the sheep one. That's just, what are you saying? Who's the shepherd? Who's the sheep? Who's the lost one? Who's the flock that didn't get lost? Is the flock that didn't get lost the Christians, and the one that wanders off is somebody who fell from Christianity and then you've gone off to bring him back to Christ? Are you saying that you have now ignored all the other ones, the ones who are faithful to you? You're ignoring them? What? Is that the message? I don't understand. Maybe somebody can explain it to me, because that's kind of an upsetting one.